Wow. I was not prepared for that. He lost his life. He's dead. Hey guys, attorney Darren Miller, and you're watching DLaw. Okay, so today we are going to be analyzing some and getting some reaction with regards to some roller coaster videos that we've got.
14-year-old Tyree Sampson died after plunging 430 feet at 75 miles an hour on a thrill ride.
Made manual adjustments to the ride, resulting in it being unsafe.
The report.
I mean, that's just awful. That's just terrible. I feel particularly compelled to discuss this situation because I'm a thrill seeker myself. I love riding roller coasters and taking chances and everything else. But the cornerstone to these types of things is that you believe that these amusement parks have safety as the primary and the most important issue that you're dealing with. And clearly here, they've cut corners. They've cut some corners, okay? And they've cut corners which would suggest to me that whoever was operating this machine didn't properly train the staff. And if you don't properly train the staff, things like this can occur. And I'm sorry, at 400 feet in the air, you can't have mistakes and errors or people die.
Safety measures provided to us by the manufacturer of the ride were followed.
All procedures were followed, yet somebody died. How does that happen? The fact that this safety harness is supposed to be adjusted towards only 3 inches, and it was more than double that amount, allowing this person to slip out, clearly suggests to me that all protocols were not followed. That's ridiculous. Okay? And why are teenagers the ones who have the final say with regards to what's happening here? How come they do not know, hey guys, there's a problem with the equipment. Let me tell my manager. Let me stop the machine. Let me make sure that everything is okay before I put other people in jeopardy and harm's way. These things cannot happen, guys, especially not at an amusement park.
Seats for profit. I think that you start getting into some intentional conduct that the state attorney's office should possibly look at.
That's just in terms of criminal conduct. Well, let's talk about that for a second. I with all due respect, and again, I know a very small amount as to what's going on here, but I certainly doubt that this child, this teenager, intended to harm this kid. Okay, it was negligent. It was probably gross negligent. But did this attendant mean for someone to die on this accident? Come on. That's probably a little far-fetched. Certainly the state should look into it, but I'm sure we're going to find out that the conduct was negligent, gross negligent, but not criminal.
One state representative who has reviewed the situation says that it appears that to him, these adjustments were made simply to allow larger riders on the ride.
When you go to an amusement park, I totally get it. I understand. When you have larger customers, you want to keep them happy, and when you turn them away, people get upset and frustrated. And probably after time when this happens, hey, what can we try and do to squeeze these riders in? And I understand that, and that's how a teenager is going to think. But that's when proper management and training comes into place. Whereas the management team should come and say, hey, listen, guys, these protocols are in place for a reason to make sure that everyone remains safe. And if it's not safe for these people to get on, we should not manipulate things to put them in an unsafe condition. And that's clearly what happened here.
Fox 35 investigates thrill ride safety. Years before Tyree Sampson was killed on the drop ride at Icon Park, another Central Florida ride disaster was in the national spotlight.
45 minutes. Others were thrown out of their seats. 6 people, including
from my accident, and I'm still having struggles daily.
The Florida.
You know, how can these things happen? People get ejected from these rides. Because again, they have to be tested and tested and tested. And I don't understand how these things are allowed to happen. Clearly, whoever is operating this is not testing the equipment properly, is not following the necessary protocols to make sure that issues like this are completely avoided. But this is an absolute tragedy.
Prevent that ride from ever functioning again once.
You see, what I wonder in situations like this is that you know how expensive these lawsuits are, and you know a situation like this is going to cost you millions of dollars. If I'm the operator of these rides, of this amusement park, why not hire the company already before, at the beginning of the season? Hey, check this ride out for me. Make sure everything's okay. Make sure that things look reasonable, that I have the information, that I'm aware of any potential issues before things happen. That's the problem with our society today. Because everyone's so focused on the bottom line, they don't want to spend $15,000 to get information properly checked. They want to put riders in jeopardy and hope that everything is okay. And then when an accident comes like this, it's just too late.
It happened.
Overall, amusement rides are considered safe. According to IAAPA, there is a 1 in 15.5 million chance of being seriously injured on a ride at a fixed site. But when there are accidents, it rocks the industry.
That makes me feel at least a little bit better, right? The fact that now I learned that the chances of me getting injured in a typical situation is 1 in 15 million. And that makes me feel good, because that means there's almost no chance that something's going to happen. At the same time, you do know that accidents are going to happen at an amusement park. Okay? These facilities, they generate millions of dollars. So all they need to do to reduce those odds even more is to get their information properly inspected, make sure things are checked, find out what's going on, get the information, and address these issues before they happen. Because guess what? That might then change the number from 1 in 50 million to 1 in 30 million. And guess what? I'll feel twice as good when that happens.
And keep your hands and feet inside the carrier. Always hold on to the lap bars or restraints.
So one of the things that's really important here is that anyone who is a common carrier of sorts that invites people to the amusement park, they have a duty to inspect their equipment and to make sure it's safe. Okay. And if there's any questions, any issues, any concerns, nope, sorry, we can't ride this one today. There's 100 other rides until this one has passed every inspection protocol.
And I'm thankful for everyone that prayed for us.
These women say they'll never set foot on an amusement ride again. The sandblaster was torn down.
You expect a fun time, and then tragedy strikes.
But the memories of what happened on that ride.
And see, people wonder why you get these verdicts for people that have gone through situations like this for $10 and $15 and $20 million. Well, this is exactly why. Because you hear about this situation, you hear that this accident happened 4 years ago, that people have been seriously injured, people have been killed. These issues, these memories don't go away. And these things could have been absolutely avoided had the manufacturer, had the operator of the equipment just inspected, just made sure, just checked, just did a few other things, just to make sure that no incident like this happens. Incidents like this can absolutely be avoided. And you've got a duty to make sure that people can go to the amusement park, have a great time, and go home safely. They should not be scarred and devastated and their life changed because someone's too busy playing on their iPod or doesn't want to take the time to inspect things, or worse, I don't want to take the money it's going to take to find out what's really going on.
Condition after falling from a ride at Lagoon Theme Park.
Viewers sent us video of the moments just before the man fell about 50 feet to the ground.
Wow.
It's disturbing to watch for some. Fox 13's John Franke has the full story. hanging on that ride. Why is doing like that?
That's Lucy's voice.
Oh my God.
Sight of a man hanging from the sky ride. 6 o'clock Saturday.
Oh my
The
God.
initial investigation found the ride system and car did not malfunction.
The Skyride has operated without incident since 1974.
Lagoon says the Skyride has a flawless safety record that dates back nearly. Lucy witnessed the traumatic event.
Many of the children, many of the adults.
Wow. I was not prepared for that. You look at the video and a guy is hanging outside of a ride that's suspended 50 feet in the air. And then you read the comments and you see that he lost his life. He's dead. I mean, that's crazy. Now, does it appear that the amusement park was negligent? I don't know. I don't know. When you listen to the safety record, it sounds meticulous. But then how did this happen? But the rest of that is, why is this guy hanging from his arms to the ground? That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He's not screaming. He's not asking for help. He's not doing anything. So this one needs to be investigated further. But wow.
This wasn't a problem with the ride or lagoon.
The man was flown to University of Utah Hospital. Lucy hopes no one has to experience anything like this ever again.
I pray for.
So you have an interesting situation, right? Because typically you're looking at, again, was the park negligent with regards to the ride itself? And it certainly appears that it wasn't. However, after you've addressed that particular issue, then the next issue is, well, what about the people that saw this, that viewed this man essentially falling to his death, whose now experiences with regards to amusement parks are going to be marred moving forward? I wonder whether or not the amusement park has some responsibility as far as that's concerned. Because when I'm looking at this thing, I don't see a whole lot of restraints as related to this apparatus. If the man had some psychological issues, some problems there, and he wanted to kill himself, for example, I also believe that the park then has some responsibility to make sure that he doesn't harm himself, which would then lead to other people at the park also being psychologically damaged. So that's something else I would look at here and investigate to kind of see what's going on.
Who are traumatized by seeing the man fall will have counseling services provided. In Farmington, Sean Franke, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Demystify your mouth.
Yeah, again, in a situation like this, dealing with the other folks, when you have that kind of psychological trauma, one of the things I would certainly do is get some emotional help, get some counseling, see a psychiatrist, psychologist as related to these particular issues. Because again, if you don't address them, it's going to affect you moving forward for the rest of your life. These family members will probably never want to go to amusement parks again. And that would be a travesty. I'm 52 years old and I still love going to Disney World and all these other places. And if you're a 5-year-old, I would hate for you not to be able to experience that for the rest of your life. So deal with those psychological issues. They're important. And if you're not negligent and someone else screwed up, they should pay for it. Hey guys, thanks for spending some time with us going through some of these reaction videos here at DLaw. We are done for the day, but give us your comments, give us your feedback. Let us know if there's anything else you want us to look at, analyze, go through, because this is fun for me, and hopefully I can teach you guys a little something, and we'll see you in future. Attorney Darren Miller, take care. Too busy playing on their iPod or doesn't want to take the time.
Well, how am I
What
supposed to know?
did I say? iPod
Instead of their
iPhone. I'm Attorney Darren Miller, and that's DLaw.